welcome back everybody. Today's the great day that you're going to learn how to play No Matter What by Badfinger. Just a great, probably the quintessential song of all time that kicked off the whole genre of power pop, maybe. And great guitar in this song. There's 3 distinct rhythm guitar parts that will go through, and then a lead guitar part as well. And a whole array of effects, I think, that are involved that you can play with and tinker with to sort of get the tones that they have, and I'll walk through all of those here today. Okay, so if you like that kind of thing and you haven't done so yet, please jump down and click subscribe and ring the bell, because that'll let you know every time I drop new content, which I do every single week. All my videos have chapters in them, so you can go right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I appreciate that. There's thanks, which is just like throwing a tip in the tip jar, button right below. Or you can join my Patreon page where I've got chord charts and tabs for all the lessons that I do on YouTube, like this one. All the links are in the description, so check it out. All right, so No Matter What. And this is, of course, many of you know, some of you may not, but Badfinger was the first, I want to say, technically, band that was signed by the Beatles' Apple label in 68, 69. I think Mal Evans, the Beatles roadie, actually discovered or brought these guys forward. I'm not sure. They were called the Ivies at the time. But Pete Ham is one of the probably primary songwriters of this group, and great band, tragic story to that band. I'm not going to go into all of that, but let's talk about the great guitar work that they did on this record. Pete Ham played, I believe, a Gibson SG, a red Gibson SG standard, and that Gibson SG is actually a gift from George Harrison. It's George Harrison's, or one of his Gibson SGs, probably the one that you see in the Paperback Writer films. Anyway, Pete was known to playing the SG live. Maybe he used it on the record. It sounds like he does to me. And let's talk about the main part that kicks off the song. The way I'm getting my tone now is standard tuning, by the way. Gibson SG. I'm on my bridge pickup. I'm going to have all of the gear and settings that I'm using throughout the lesson today down below in the description, but check it out. But this guitar number 1, I'm going to call it, is a little more overdriven, and it's the one that kicks off the song, and it goes like this. Right, so it's just riffing off of that A chord on here, and you're just hammering on the D string 2 frets up. Right? You can hear the little slapback I got going on, just slight. And, okay, then it goes into the first verse, and it's going to go from an A to a B minor. It's going to do the hammer on the A. Now, when you go to the B minor, you sort of choke that off. Maybe you just do that. Same hammer on the B minor. D to E. And that's the first verse. Second verse is almost the same. It has something a little different at the end, but same A to B minor. D, E, and then on this time, instead of doing what we did last time, which was just hitting the chords hard, he does this little arpeggio, and he really backs off on the picking string. Just really simple. All right. Now we're going to go into the, I guess it's the bridge section. And it's going to start off the chords here. I'm just going to say the chords first, okay? Then I'll show you the voicing that he uses. So the chords are an F sharp minor, then a B dominant 7, B7, E7, A7, D7, B minor, A. Okay, notice all those sevenths, it's great. And the voicings that he uses, so he's using an F minor 7, but the first one, and I haven't seen anybody else get this on YouTube, the first one is F sharp minor 7, and he's got his pinky up here on the 12th fret E string. And they're just stabs. B7, E7, A, or A7, D7, B minor, A. Just what we did before. Again. He doesn't actually pull off on every single one. G to E. There you go. And then you're back to your normal part. Guitar solo, and he does all the same, you know, the guitar solo is over a verse format. That's all going on. It's lowered in the mix, but he's just playing all of those same parts. So those are all the parts throughout the song. The only thing that's different is on the outro, right? It has that sort of false ending. 2, 3, 4, right? Silent count. But that's it. Those are all the formations. Those are all the guitar parts for guitar number 1, which I think is Pete Ham playing that. Yeah, that's the part he seems to take when he's playing it live, but that's it. So he's the more overdriven part. Back on his bridge pickup, and yeah, there you go. So let's talk about part number 2 and the tone setting that I'm getting for that. So I'm actually backing off my overdrive. I'm taking overdrive off, and I'm going to actually accentuate the delay slapback to be a little stronger so it comes out a little more. So it sounds more like this. And I'm going to move on my bridge pickup. It's just a different tone. So this one comes in, right? So Pete's playing his part, and this one is being played, I'm going to guess it's by Joey Mullen, I guess. He's sort of doing a counter beat to that guitar number 1. So, he's doing that one. So it's just punches on this chord position, A, and it's more accentuating on the treble strings, B minor. And it sounds to me that he's on a regular cowboy D and E when I listen closely. And then he does this little arpeggio. So that's that first time he goes around, it's bouncing off of that. And goes around again. he changes it a little to the, and now whenever you hear this, it's the same. The first time he did the, and all the others are. Right. So during the bridge part, he's just playing arpeggio chords, first position chords, very faintly in the mix. Whoops. Right, it's just lightly like that. And that's it. So that's all the parts for for his part, right? The critical thing is the tone is different. Sounds better to me on the neck pickup. I don't know if he played it on an SG or not, but this seems to get it sounding closely. And it's a great counterpunch to guitar number 1. Now, guitar number 3 is very cool, and it's the one that you sort of associate with the song very strongly, and it's the Leslie. And the Leslie tone guitar. So I'm gonna kick that on. I use the Neo Instruments Ventilator 2. Again, all the links are in the description for what I use for this. Turn that back a little bit. And that part is mostly arpeggio. So same chords, A, whenever you're hitting the A chord. And then the D to E, you don't play chords, you play this great. Right? The other guitar number 2 played that little, right, that part too, but it's so dominated by this Leslie guitar sound on top of it. But just beautiful. Good amount of drive on this. You want a little bit of dirt, not from my pedal, but actually from the ventilator. And then during the bridge section, he's just, again, he's playing arpeggiated very lightly. I don't know what the exact picking pattern is, but it's arpeggiated chords. It's just pot, you know, and they pot that part up where you come to that little piece. But he's playing the whole time. It's just very understated down in the mix. Just a great tone to add into this. Great thing about that bridge section is it's got this, and I don't know if it was well crafted. He was thinking about it. I like to think that he does, but it has this note that just descends the whole time, and the vocal, calls that out. You hear it later on in the song, but it starts on this note. Right, during all of that, and you could follow it from either chord position, right? When then to your, then to. Just beautiful all the way down. Okay, so what's left at this point is the guitar lead, or the lead guitar part. So I'm gonna change my tone setting on this a little bit. Again, all the settings of what I've got for what I'm choosing to use for all these parts, I've got them down in the description below. And it makes use of a slide. So we're going to break out the slide, and the whole lead is played on one string, just the G string, and no separate slide tuning needed. None of that. So it's just on the G string. You could play it, of course, other ways, but when you listen to the record, he's sliding all up and down that one string. So the chords that this is going over are your normal sort of verse chords: A, B minor, D, E, landing on A, right? So when you're playing over A, you're doing... So bring it up again. Now you're going to B minor. D to E. Down here on A, you're going to start from A at 2, and you're going to go all the way up to A octave higher at 14. So all together. And there you have it. So that, my friends, is No Matter What by Badfinger. And I hope, listening to all those little parts, you learned something new today. And if you like what you saw here and haven't done so yet, please click subscribe and ring the bell. The bell will let you know every time I'm dropping new content, which I do every single week. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this one. And if there's another song you want me to take on and do a lesson similar to this, let me know what that is too. All right? So until next week, take care, everybody.